With the second overall pick in the upcoming 2016 draft, the Cleveland Browns select
Carson Wentz, North Dakota State senior, 6'5", 237. This guy is big, he is strong, and he had a great pro day.
New coach Hugh Jackson will love this kid. What can I say? He's groomed quarterbacks, especially if you've seen what he's done in Cincinnati with Andy Dalton, you're going to be like, wow, can he coach? Because Andy Dalton came out of TCU and was just a normal quarterback. But Jackson really groomed him into the Bengals offense they have now. It's basically a powerhouse this past season.
It's true. I mean, he had a great season this past year. And if Wentz has anything like Dalton had in Cincy, it'll be great for them. They're going to a division rival, so we'll definitely see a lot of him, no doubt.
That's very true, but he's not the starting quarterback. You got Wentz, but in addition, you just signed RG3.
Yeah, you signed a guy who you don't know if he's going to be injured or healthy. If we're looking at the past, he's definitely going to be injured at least 12 of the 16 games this season. There's a chance that he doesn't even make it to the practice facility before he gets injured. He is, he's as inconsistent as they get, at least off the field with the injuries. Now, who knows what's going to happen this year with them.
But RG3 was a Pro Bowl quarterback at one point. He came into the league. The Redskins made the playoffs for the first time in feels like forever. He could do it all. He was running around the field. He was throwing it down the field. He was the real deal. And now he signs a 2-year contract with the Browns. And you really don't know what you're going to get. But Jackson is sort of a guru, per se. So you're going to have at least 2 quarterbacks to play around with. If they feel very good about RG3, I wouldn't be surprised if they entertain some offers. I'm sure a couple teams would love to get up to number 2. Not necessarily for Wentz, but a different player. But Wentz has really impressed almost, I think, everyone from his Senior Bowl performance, the Combine, his Pro Day. They're saying even when he was in school, he was getting straight A's. So, I mean, even intellectually, that's what you want to see out of your quarterback.
Yeah, and it's great. His pro day, I'm pretty sure he had 1 incomplete pass. And, I mean, if you look at the body of work, I mean, he's a 6'5", big body guy. And that's what you want a quarterback. You don't want a small quarterback. And he's definitely a big guy. Now, he's from a small school. That's my only worry.
That's my knock as well.
What is the level of competition he's going against? And, definitely, you're going from a small school to big fish in the NFL. You got to prove a lot of doubters. Because they're going to say, hey, you do not have the mentality to get through the NFL.
Well, that's what they're saying. He's at the Senior Bowl just playing with the Alabama-type players, and he's showing them who's boss. I mean, you never would have thought a North Dakota State quarterback would go top 5, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
But, I mean, adjusting to the pace of the game, I think that is going to be the major key. I mean, that's any quarterback that comes from the collegiate game up to the NFL and goes, all right, I'm going to have to put on a show almost. I have to know the adjustments. They have to know what the edge rushers are like. You can't imagine just having a normal Alabama linebacker come and then you have Terrell Suggs the next game. It's going to be every single week, and it's going to be in practice. And the young quarterbacks are going to have to understand that.
Yeah, and one of the big problems with Wentz is not so much him. It's more of the team he might be going for. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the guy with all the names on the jersey.
Mm-hmm. And just stretches all the way down to the bottom.
There's a reason why that list is so long, and it's not so much going to be his fault, but the Browns, man, they are a hard organization to play for. He's really has his number already down because they are not, in past, a very good quarterback-friendly team, let alone a very record-friendly team. They don't win a lot of games, and you almost got to be okay with losing if you want money.
But when you want a winning organization, and Cleveland has diehard fans.
They do.
They really do. The problem is they keep changing coaches. When you change your coach, you got to change the players with the scheme. And that's been the problem. You get one quarterback that's suited well, for Chip Kelly, for example, and then you go in with a new coach that wants to run a different scheme and might not have the skill set. So that's why you see Couch's name on the back of that jersey. It's RG3. I mean, let's be honest, the whole Manziel thing didn't pan out. That's not on them. That's on him. They had to make a statement, and they did, and good for him, but, dude, you need to stop partying to get your life back on track. But the best thing for the Browns might be to have Wentz come in and then sit for a couple games. Don't get thrown to the wolves per se. Have him learn from the mistakes possibly from RG3 or Josh McCown, they're saying might be the first quarterback on the roster. I don't believe that at all.
Neither do I.
But you have these other quarterbacks that have experience. RG3's been in the league a couple of years, believe it or not, even though he sat out all last year. But Kirk Cousins had a tremendous season. I'll give it to him. But you got to learn from these guys. Jackson's going to tell you what to do. And then you got veterans to ask questions. When you're a young guy, you need to absorb as much knowledge as possible, especially if you're coming from North Dakota State, being the second overall pick in the draft, ahead of a lot of players that might be better than you.
Yeah, it's true. One of the big things for the Browns I think they need to do, though, is they need to give RG3 a chance. Mm-hmm. And just because you're taking a quarterback, if they do take this quarterback second overall, RG3 is young.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a ton of talent, as we talked about earlier.
He has a brand, too.
He has a brand as well. And for him, he's just got to play his game. I think one of the big challenges for the Browns is going to be, can you get quality starts out of RG3 while you have Wentz sitting on the bench learning? Mm-hmm. And as hard as it is to learn from a guy who went from the second overall pick to being on a different team and with half of a leg, it feels like, at this point in his career already. You got to be okay sitting behind him and learning.
But he's also going to be throwing potentially to Josh Gordon, who is one of the best wide receivers in the league, if he comes off suspension. Again, sorry Cleveland Brown fans, but it just seems like it's a Cleveland thing.
It is a Cleveland thing. And I don't know if it's so much of the losing as there might not be that much to do in Cleveland. I don't exactly spend my weekends at Cleveland. You got, for now. For now. And until then, other than that, you don't really have much to do. But, hey, if you're looking to win in Cleveland, good luck. Good luck.
If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, I hope you watch Ohio State. I'll just say that because they have a lot of potential. They had a great season this year. They had the quarterbacks. They had Ezekiel Elliott. We'll get into that later.
Oh,
but Carson Wentz could be your franchise quarterback. We're not promising you anything, but believe in Hugh Jackson. He would not have come to Cleveland if he didn't think he could turn it around. He's a phenomenal coach, and maybe he knows what he's doing.
Maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.